Welcome to the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast, brought to you by GuitarZoom.com. If you want to improve your guitar playing, keep listening. If you want to improve even faster, go to GuitarZoom.com, where you'll find all of Steve's premium courses, masterclasses, and memberships that'll help you quickly and easily improve your playing. Now here's your host, Steve Stine.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about 4 really important zones to think about when it comes to your fretboard and when you're soloing, and really how you can apply that to your dynamics of your solos. So let me kind of explain to you what I'm talking about. When I solo, I always think, like, let's say I'm in the key of A. You could be in any key you want, but let's say I'm in the key of A, and I think about going from something like this. And then I move into this. And then maybe I move into something like this. And then finally, okay, I think about my guitar in terms of the pitches that I'm playing and the response that it's going to have. So if you think about it, if I start lower and thicker on the strings, that's as meaty as my solo is going to get, right? When I want, something like that, that's as low and beefy. And again, you can go lower and that sort of thing. And needless to say, there's going to be some overlap in different places here as well. But I think about, kind of in this lower register here on those thicker strings, that's where I'm not really singing anymore. I'm really kind of like whispering or growling to somebody down in this area. Now, I'm obviously a little bit heavier in terms of my tone now, but I could do the same thing if I was playing blues or, whatever the case may be. So I've got this kind of lower register here where I've got my growling or my whispering. And then as I move into my thinner strings, kind of in this same register, I start talking. Right? So it's a really nice, comfortable place to be in a solo. It's not too aggressive. It's not, way too low. And again, it depends on the song. It depends on the solo. It depends on the circumstance. But I know if I start kind of in the thinner strings, kind of right in the center of this A minor position, pentatonic, diatonic, whatever. Right? I'm kind of singing in that area. Now, as I move into maybe the, 4th, 5th, 3rd position, whatever, in those thinner strings, now all of a sudden I'm going to be singing more, right? So as I head up here, now of course there's overlap because these notes are going to be, overlapped in various places. So it all depends on the way that you're visualizing this. So I in my head, I'm kind of thinking of it as, the thicker strings on the lower part of the guitar is kind of my growling or my whispering. And then when I move into kind of the 5th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, whatever, on the thinner strings, that's where the talking starts, okay? Which means that if I go to the thicker strings up here, higher up on the fretboard, I'm still kind of talking, right? Right? So they're going to overlap. I just want you to think about the fretboard a little bit differently. Then as I move to those thinner strings, now all of a sudden I start singing a bit more. Right? And then if I really want to get aggressive, I can move into my thinner strings on the higher frets, and I'm really going to start yelling, right? I'm going to start screaming up here. Right? So when you start a solo, let's say you're starting off with something that's relatively mellow to begin with.
If you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, go to GuitarZoom.com and consider becoming a premium member. There are 3 memberships to choose from. VIP, which gives you instant access to a library of short but powerful courses as well as new bite-sized lessons each month. There's also Play Songs that gives you step-by-step lessons so you can learn to play your favorite songs fast. And finally, there's Masterclass, university-level training on everything from soloing to music theory, from blues to home recording. For more info about these memberships and all the premium courses available to you, go to GuitarZoom.com. Now back to the podcast.
You might not want to tear somebody's face off down here, and you might not want to start off by growling right away. You might. Okay, it's all dependent on what it is that you're looking for. But, you might start off by just trying to find somewhere that's a bit more singing or speaking. You see, and now maybe I'll go up. And then maybe I go down. And then. But I want to be aware of those things because when I was younger and I was learning a lot of stuff about the fretboard, I just always thought in terms of octaves, like, well, I could take this and move up an octave. Well, that's fine. And nothing wrong with that. It works. But if I start thinking more about the zones on my fretboard, I can think about when the song starts and the jam is playing, whatever it is, whether you're playing a cover tune or a backing track or whatever it might be. I can decide, well, what does it feel like it needs right now? It just came off this vocal, somebody was just singing or whatever, and now here's me, right? Do I go for the throat right away? And maybe I do, right? But maybe I don't. Maybe or even lower, right? And then when I need to, again, I don't go really low a lot, but it does sound cool when you... And then... I could go up to something like that, whatever it might be, and play it there. Then drop down, and then maybe high up. So I want you to start thinking about that a little bit when you're playing. Again, not a particular technique or a particular lick or something, just thinking about all the different places that you can go for different kinds of sounds. And you're not just worried about, needless to say, to do this, you've got to have a handle on the positions on your fretboard so you can move around freely and do what you want to do. And of course, if you find that you're having a hard time with something like that, that tells you exactly, some things that you could practice in your own playing to get better at this kind of technique. So take care, stay positive, and keep practicing, and hopefully this helps you a little bit. Next time on the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast. All right, so on to the next lick. So this one we're going to be doing is, again, we're in E minor / G major, however you want to look at it, okay? And this time what I'm going to be doing is moving across this way, but I'm using a lot of strings doing this. So I'm going to be playing from 17 to 13, and then 16 to 14, which in itself is just a cool little lick anyway, but I digress. So we've got... And then I'm heading back up to that 15. So you see I'm doing pull-offs twice, and then I'm going to that. So I'm playing down, up. Okay? And again, if I was going to repeat this or something like that, I might pick it differently, but I know what's coming. I know I gotta exit out of here into the next idea. Hey, Steve Stine here from GuitarZoom.com, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, can I ask you a favor? Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your feedback means more to me than you'll ever know. And be sure to check out my YouTube channels where you'll find over 1,000 videos to help you with your guitar playing. Thanks again for listening. Stay positive, keep playing, and keep having fun.
If you'd like some help with your guitar playing but you're not sure how to get started, go to GuitarZoom.com and look for the Help Me Choose survey. By answering a few simple questions, you'll get Steve's personal recommendation of the perfect course for you. All this and more is available for you at GuitarZoom.com.